I am moored in Hopetown on Elbow Key, Abacos, Bahamas, awaiting for my crew arrival, Maureen and Greg. We left Hopetown and sailed northwest through the Abacos chain and went to Green Turtle Key, stopping at the Green Turtle Club and the famous Sand Dollar Bar. We walked over to Cocoa Bay, where we got to wade in the water with rays and sharks. The next day, we took off to overnight at Little Fish Key and then onward to Great Sail Key. We were going to hunker down there for an impending storm, and it was a great place to stage to take off for our trip back north. Motor sailing. I noticed some issues with my anemometer, so I repurposed what was left of the Bahamian flag and repurposed it for telltales. Bahamas flag repurposed as telltale. And not to share too much of the story, but this is what happens to your boat when you throw a smoldering mitt on the deck. We hunkered down 2 days while a 25 knot plus storm blew by. I received waypoints from my hired meteorologist, which included entry and exit waypoints of the Gulf Stream to maximize the use of the Gulf Stream's current. All ready to go?
All ready. Woohoo!
Sunrise, goodbye, Bahamas. This whole morning we were flying, running 8 to 9 knots. A great sail it was. While underway, I get live weather information from Predict Wind, and I continually run Predict Wind algorithms for sailing scenarios. The white dot is us. We are moving north-northwest, avoiding all the counter currents above us, trying to get to the Gulf Stream in red all the way to the left. Notice 2 things here: speed over ground of 10.5, thank you Gulfstream, and Bob in front of us. That is the retrieval ship for the boosters for SpaceX that we had to avoid. Good morning, day 2. We're right north and off Daytona Beach, Florida. We left about 6:45 yesterday in 15 knot winds. We had a great ride. 5 to 7 foot seas, a bit sporty, but we were running 8 to 9 knots to the Gulf Stream. And the Gulf Stream we ran all night to about 3 o'clock in the morning when the wind died. And we pulled the, actually we motor sailed, and I just pulled the sails down just now. It's 4 or 5 knots so in on our stern. Beautiful day, a great trip, and we're making a lot of headway. So happy about that. Look carefully and you'll see the backs of 3 pilot whales that were logging, which is sleeping in the water. We were very successful avoiding the counter currents and are now right in the middle of the Gulf Stream. Temporary lack of wind was no surprise. It was in the forecast. Very rarely is it so flat and not much to do, so we read. Somebody needed a break from flying. Wind is running 17 knots. We're running between 9.2 and 10.5 in the Gulf Stream. AWA 107. Good morning.
Morning. We motored all night because we didn't have a lot of wind and it was on our butt, so there was no good sailing angles. This morning the wind picked up and we've got a broad reach, 4 to 5 foot seas, heading into Beaufort, possibly.
In the last 16 hours, 45 minutes, we've averaged 10 knots. That will make us a 240 nautical mile day. We have 20 to 28 knots wind and 8 to 10 foot seas. Sun going down 80 miles from Cape Hatteras. Since we were making such great progress and were having such a great sail, we decided not to go to Beaufort, North Carolina, but to continue on around Cape Hatteras into the Chesapeake Bay. The only thing we needed to be leery about was the potential for some squalls. Our track so far. As we neared Virginia Beach, we checked in online. Continuing around Hatteras, we were aware of the potential of some squalls that we might hit. Unfortunately, we hit them as we came in the Chesapeake Bay. As we headed north on the bay, winds were on the nose as well as seas, so we diverted to throw an anchor out in the Mobjack Bay. See this loop? This was our track because it was so dark and windy and nasty. We decided not to go into the anchorage until there was first light. And of course, coming into the bay, it was cold.
This is Bryant Cove down in the Mobjack River.
Oh, so sorry, flying fish. Oh no. Back in the Chesapeake. Point Comfort. There was no wind. We motored overnight about 100 miles north on the Chesapeake back to our marina. Home sweet home. We arrived back in Rock Hall, Maryland around 6:30 a.m.